Last year around this time, I was living in Florida, and I was struggling with a lot of questions of not knowing what to do with my life, what to do with my future, and couldn't decide, should I stay in Tallahassee? Should I move somewhere else? Should I travel? What should I do for work? What should I do for, all these kind of questions. And I'd spent a lot of my free time just thinking about it, journaling, and trying to figure out some answers to these. So there was a night where I got a phone call from my sister Rhiannon, my oldest sister, and she lives in Logan, Utah, and she called and asked, just how things were going, and I gave her an update on how I was feeling and how, life had just really given me a beating, and I just didn't know, what my next steps were or how to handle it. And she offered to me to have me come and live with them out in Logan, Utah, and I hated the idea. I'm really stubborn and independent, and I just always want to do things on my own by myself and to be self-sufficient. I don't want to have to rely on anybody for anything, which isn't necessarily a bad quality always, but it does make it difficult when somebody offers doing something for you, trying to help me, trying to perform some type of service for me. So I didn't like the idea, and I told her it wasn't going to happen. And I hung up the phone, went inside, and I ended up, just before I was going to jump in and take a shower, I knelt down in the bathroom at my house, and I just said a prayer to God about requesting help and requesting guidance. And the question I asked is, should I go to Logan? And immediately I got a very distinct feeling that is what I should do. And it was really surprising because, like I said, this is the last thing that I wanted to do. There's plenty of things that I felt would be better to do. There's plenty of things that I was more curious and interested in doing, like traveling and just taking the time to be kind of a free roaming spirit. And that's not what I got an answer to go do, but I did, to move out to Logan, and it was really surprising. So I ended up, later on letting her know that I was curious to do this, and so I decided to figure out the rest of the summer, try and figure out the steps to get there, and then make it happen. And so right now I actually live in Providence, which is just south of Logan, Utah. I'm still living actually with the Patricks. My sister married a guy named Tyler Patrick, and their family is really a lot of fun, and they have wonderful and sweet spirits. I moved out here kind of not knowing how I was going to like the environment, how I was gonna like living, with a sister again, and even like the culture out here is, the West is very different from Florida and from the East, and especially Utah is very different. But for me, I realize, especially looking back and seeing how everything in my life has been in this beautiful sequence. As rough as it may have seemed at the time, it really played out in a miraculous way. So I'm living here right now the feelings that I've had since moving out. When I moved out here, I felt pretty broken, pretty devastated. It was right at the time, right before my divorce was finalized, and I, was feeling the weight of that and just felt very alone. And when I got out here, it's amazing. I remember one day specifically where I was just lying in bed and didn't want to get up and go do anything. And the youngest niece, Paisley, she came in and she wanted to go for a bike ride down to the gas station to get a candy. And it was really cool how her request to do that pulled me out of the bed, pulled me out of my weird funk, and it brought me out into the sunshine on just a gorgeous day, and to go do something that I love, riding bikes, obviously, and spend time with her. And it ended up being a really choice experience. And so in the video that I made for the Patricks and for my time here in Logan, there's a clip where I'm recording her from behind as she's riding her bicycle with the training wheels, and she's got her little unicorn helmet on, and just going down the sidewalk, just pedaling. And that was actually that day that I didn't want to get out of bed, and I knew that I had just found out that for sure my relationship was over, and that I needed to look ahead and look at a different life and plan for a different life. And it's just so sweet that I have that video clip, that I distinctly remember that day and those feelings, and just thinking, like, how amazing is it that I could be somewhere alone at that time, but instead I am with this gentle spirit that just wants to enjoy and soak in life. And that's a huge part of the healing process for me. I can give credit to Rhiannon and all the times that she sat down and had very real talks with me, with the girls, for all the love that they've shown me. I mean, they are the kind of people that just make you feel like you're on top of the world, because when you show up and you haven't seen them in a long time, everyone comes running out screaming your name and embracing you, just jacked to see you. And same with Tyler. Tyler is actually a marriage and family therapist, and he's had a lot of really wonderful guidance for how to help me through some of the rough emotions that I had at that time. And the family, and even this location, I mean, being in the mountains and being so close to nature, it takes nothing for me to climb up into the hills and have this grand view of the valley, and everything, just the combination, everything about it has been transcendent for my own transformation, even. And finally having a very full and complete hope again. And I just have to give them credit and thanks for all the peace that they've brought into my life. And every time that I've felt low, for lifting me back up and helping me through, any anger and frustration that I felt in my own life. And yeah, so I'm really grateful for each of them and the role that they've played in my life. So thank you, Tyler, and thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Boots. You girls. You've really helped me change my life in the sweetest way. And something that I in no way could have done by myself. And I'm so glad to feel complete again. So, thank you. And yeah, this video is just kind of an ode to them. The song is called Glass Film by S. Carey, and just soak it in. It's beautiful. So